This is the future.
Welcome back everybody to the Steelpath series. Today's episode we're going to cover Emissary. Alright guys, let's get into the build. First, to look at the Warframe. You want to have as much power strength as you can. Around 300% is good, and the more that you have actually the better. The reason why? The more that Chroma gets hit, the more he converts that into damage, as long as you can keep your buff up. Okay, as for Arcanes, it really doesn't matter. Avenger, Strike, Fury, you can go with Grace. I don't recommend Energize, you don't really need it. You'll have a lot of energy for this fight anyway. So yeah, those are pretty much the Arcanes. Taking a look at melee, I also chose a fast crit melee. That's what I recommend for this fight. I went corrosive damage. You can go gas, but I think because it's a boss, I think corrosive still might perform a little bit better. You can choose viral as well, but they do have resistances against viral, so well, at least reduce damage. I also chose utility, so I went Prime Breach over Gladiator Might. The reason is, yeah, that's just my style. I prefer more range on my attacks. Now, for primary, I recommend the Kuva Brahma. In fact, something that does a lot of AoE damage. And the reason why is because, well, you'll see later on in the video. Now, as for operator, you probably want to get Energizing Dash for energy return, Temporal Blast because it's a boss, Waybound Passives, Void Flow, and Mind Sprint, just for higher speed. Those are the two that you really want to have. Any others that you have, I mean, they're free anyway. Once you unlock them, they're permanently yours. As for operator equipment, I've been saying the same thing all the time. It's Magus Repair and Magus Lockdown, both from Voxelaris. Those will get you a lot of CC and heals, so you're pretty safe throughout most of the fight. Alright, now that we're on the ground, get an energizing dash ring up, start recouping energy and make your way towards the boss as fast as you can. Now keep this in mind, when you get to the boss, you're not going to have any sort of benefits from Vex Armor because it's going to be at 0. Even though you turn it on, you still have to get hit in order for you to gain any benefit. So you want to use the surrounding little plebby guys, the little nubs, to build up your damage. So apply your number 2 and number 3 skill. Number 2 gives you, if you're fire, that means red color, it grants you a lot of HP. So as you can see in the top right, you can see 1384 HP. Also, Vex Armor is on, but I don't have any sort of damage resistance built. So for this build, 885 is my maximum without growing power going off. So I'm going to try to take damage here. Turn my back to them so I don't auto parry, and as you can see, now 885. Okay. You also want to stay away from the boss as this happens because he will one-shot you. I applied Magus Lockdown and Temporal Blast, and I apply it regularly every few seconds just to make sure that I stay safe. That way you can keep a good rhythm in the fight, and from here it's easy money. Alright, now if you look at the top right, you'll notice that I don't have the buff up anymore. I lost the buff. It's active on the bottom right, but on the top right, it's not actually active in terms of being built up or anything like that, so now I have to get it again. It's really not a big deal if this happens, and you usually do not want to have this problem when you're facing the boss. When you have to go get Arlo's Lantern, Arlo's Light, whatever it's called, it's not a big deal because you can just use the little minions around you just to get slapped out, so it's not a big deal at all. But press 2 and 3 both, so you have the extra HP just in case. And as you can see, it's really easy to build up a lot of damage resistance pretty fast. When you're engaging this guy though, this is not where you want to reapply the buff because he will one-shot you. Temporal Blast as I did before, and then from here it's pretty easy. Alright, now at this point he's about to go down. When he does, he's going to, start healing using all his little minions. Right before that, I would go Operator, just out of habit, just to make sure you don't get knocked down. I don't know if they removed that or not, but as you can see here, the Brahma, you can shoot pretty much anywhere, even right through the ground. Right here, as you can see. Some walls are thicker, some parts of the walls are thicker than others, and it is a three-dimensional fight, so, I mean, you have to take all of that into consideration, but it will hit through the ground, and that's why I recommend it to bring the Brahma. And yeah, from here it's just rinse, repeat. You guys have seen it already. Slow them down, reapply the buffs. Make sure you keep your own buffs up, track them on the bottom right. I think I've done an okay job here. I was pretty tired when I did the recording. I think it was like 7 AM, so yeah. Sorry if it's not perfect, but hey, I'll just have to do better next time. Alright, another thing that I want to recommend you guys is that you probably want to hit him from behind or from the side most of the time. And the reason is because he does a series of claw attacks, and even if it's in slow motion, they still hurt, so it's just better to be safe. Now, I just wanted to let you guys know, if you look at the top right, you'll see the growing power buff, okay? What that does is it actually amplifies my power strength and gets me a higher Vex armor buff, which is at 955. Now, I should have done this earlier, but like I said, I was pretty tired when I did the video. Hopefully you guys don't do the same noob mistakes that I did. And yeah, bring a Kuba Brahma. It's a great additional to our arsenal, but it also allows us less movement in the fight, having to go upstairs and downstairs. And yeah, it just really simplifies things. Alright, thanks so much for watching, guys, and hopefully you found this guide to be helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you did, and I will be releasing more videos in the future on all the bosses in the Steelpath. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.